Become a vegan, but you're here to help others in need of allergy, anything. So, I mean, everyone can eat
Yes.
junk food
Yes.
without worrying about things like that. Yeah.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
So even now downstairs we have someone who has been juicing, he's been fasting, and he wants some cold, slow-pressed juice. So we can offer a high-quality juice, and also he wants to break his fast with raw food. So we have an excellent selection of raw food dishes, but we also do cooked dishes. And in our clients we have people who have a serious illness, like cancer, who need a very strict particular diet, or they are avoiding sugar or alliums or acidic foods, gluten. All of these we can take into consideration, and our team has been trained to be very understanding of people with dietary requirements, because we never know what's the background of somebody. Usually people have a very good reason that they ask for the food to be a particular way, and we want to be able to serve them with excellence.
Yeah. Well, I think that's pretty good, yeah, because most of people are doing, I want to open a cafe because I want I want to get money or else, but I want to know exactly how you end up in Bali, right? And then how you start this, and what have you been through all your life, and become the Pauliina who sits here, like whatever, what's your voluntary things like that.
Well, thank you for your interest, and hopefully if someone is listening to it they can get some inspiration or idea as well. So it's a long story because I have to start from my childhood. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm born in Finland. When I was 6 I moved to Belgium because of my father's job. Then at 12 years old we moved to Sweden and I graduated from high school there. Then I did university in Finland and I majored in international relations and peace and conflict research. And I had a love for China, so for fun I was studying Chinese language, culture, philosophy, literature, also in university and my spare time. Then my husband got offered a job in China. Before that, I was actually working in the foreign ministry in Finland in the human rights department. But I felt that it's not the right environment for me. So I went to an NGO in Finland, the Finnish League for Human Rights, and I was setting up an anti-racism network catalogue for Finland. And I thought my career in human rights would take off there, but then my husband got offered a job in China. We accepted the job immediately because I have this passion for China, and actually I had already applied for a job in China as well before, but I didn't get it. So in China I was working on my PhD on human rights between Finland and China. But after some time I realized that it's not for me, and I stopped, and instead I started to do volunteer work at an orphanage in Shanghai. And this was very meaningful and a meaningful work that left an impression on me. So I started to give more time to this organization called Half the Sky, helping orphans throughout China. I also volunteered for Shanghai Sunrise, which was helping children living under the poverty level to have educational funds. And the third thing I volunteered for was the Shanghai Charity Carnival, which was fundraising for children living under the poverty level who had medical need. So, for example, fundraising for a dialysis machine. Then, in Shanghai, I also had both my children, and I burnt out. So, when I was 30, I had a 30s crisis, and I started to question, who am I? What's the purpose of my life? I'm sure you heard this story before. And I also broke down on every level. I was quite depressed. I didn't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I have 2 little children and I'm exhausted because I'm looking after the children and I'm working until midnight most days. About the same time, we moved to Singapore. And for me, that was an opportunity to have a clean break. At that point, my children and I were constantly sick with upper respiratory tract infection because of the pollution in Shanghai. And my goal was to just get healthy again. And I realized that we had so much poisonous residue in our body that it wasn't quick. It took some time. I was meditating a lot. In the end, I ended up mainly meditating for 6 months, trying to find an answer. And eventually I found an answer, which was that my purpose in life is to facilitate people's path to healing. So I have to take care of myself first. And I started to study alternative therapies. I did certifications in holistic massage, Reiki, gua sha, use of tuning forks, essential oils, bamboo stick massage, and all of that combined, I started to really feel better, especially when I changed my diet. So at that point, I was following what's called holistic nutrition, and I eliminated all dairy, sugar, processed foods, chemical food colorings and additives, and my children too, so they were on a strict diet then. And we were very healthy, very healthy. That led me then to become more interested in raw food. So I started to study and get certifications in raw vegan food. And in the end, I ended up studying 8 months, but broken up into 1-month periods in Singapore, Thailand, Bali, Maine in the US, and New York, and online as well. And then I had multiple vegan chef certifications. And I was teaching in Singapore, and just from my home, showing people how to do vegan food, raw food, and cooked food too, and helping them to combine this healthy lifestyle with alternative therapies that they can do at home. And then I was also chairwoman of Athena Network, which is a business networking forum for female entrepreneurs. So through that network, I also was able to spread the message about holistic healthcare, alternative healing, and vegan food. So in the autumn of 2016, I was in New York and I did my last part of my chef studies, and all of a sudden I realized that that's it, I've outgrown Singapore. And I called my husband and I said, I've outgrown Singapore. He said, what do you want to do? I said, I want to move, maybe to Bali. Maybe it's time to move to Bali now. Because we had actually been coming here since 2001, and we love it here. For us, the spiritual atmosphere is very enriching and powerful, and we love the people, the culture, the food, the environment. There's so many aspects here that we personally connect to, and we always felt very alive when we came here. So, okay, a few months later, we moved to Bali with our suitcases. At that time, we had quite a large home in Singapore, and we had accumulated a lot of things. We just put it in storage. We sent some things to Finland, and we took suitcases to Bali, and we didn't know what would happen. But we thought we have to try. Like, we don't want to be old and thinking about what would it have been like if we had moved to Bali. So we clearly took a risk. We had no financial security. We calculated that we can go this amount of time not earning any money, and then we have to see what to do. We had some idea that we will be working with a vegan food business. And we did originally think that we would be part owners of another business, but it didn't flow through to the end. And in the end, in summer of 2017, we bought LivingFoodLab, which was founded by Avara Yaron at the Green School, from the founder Avara. And by August 2017, we had then taken over the management and operations of that one varung at the Green School. Now, why the Green School? For me, it's very important to combine healthy food with education and with children. And I had already been talking in my children's schools about the importance of healthy nutrition. And I had always had this vision that I would have like a hole-in-the-wall type cafe in a school. I didn't know it would be in Bali, but it ended up being in Bali. So it was really like I had a vision and it came true. And eventually from that, we then rented this space where you are now. This is in Canggu, and this is LivingFoodLab Canggu, where we have a co-working space upstairs. We have the education lab where we are sitting. Production kitchen is behind me. Sorry about the doors opening and closing. Hopefully it's not too disturbing. And downstairs we have the cafe, juice and smoothie bar, and we have a very extensive menu. And it's raw, cooked. We have gluten-free items. We can do sugar-free, like I was explaining earlier on. And then we opened a second cafe at the Green School, which is also open to visitors and tourists if they book a tour through the Green School. And that was in August 2018. So now we are at the point where we have a staff of 30 people. It's our family. We have an amazing family feeling here. And I love everybody on our team. We look after each other, we care for each other, and I think it creates a special atmosphere that is also reflected to the care we show to our guests. And I'm happy to say that it's run by mainly women. So there's myself and our operations manager here in our restaurant manager here in Canggu, Imelda, and our operations manager in Green School, Ibu Wayan. And of course we have men on our team, some amazing men as well. But I feel especially wonderful to be working with two such intelligent, warm, loving women.
Now you are why would you open the second cafe in Green School? Why not somewhere else?
Well, the venue opened up. It was an availability option given to all the vendors and outside vendors as well. And we decided to participate in the tender process, which was quite extensive. And we won the tender process. Why did we want to do that? We felt we had more to offer, and we wanted to also be able to reach out to other visitors who are coming through the Green School with our vegan food offering. We feel it's something which is in alignment with the school's principles of sustainability, and we are as close to zero waste within the cafe as possible. I can't say what the suppliers who are supplying us, how zero waste they are. I'm talking purely inside our restaurant, how little waste we have, and how we are minimizing use of plastic. We are almost at zero with the plastic as well, except for plastic containers that we have to have for food. it was just a natural fit. And I also see the Green School as a platform to take LivingFoodLab to other schools and also hospitals. So I truly wish that we could take this kind of healing food to hospitals as well, or medical centers, people who are trying to heal from illness and who could be, the healing process could be speeded up so much with the right food combination. Yeah.
I see. And how you make it like become zero waste on your production in cafe?
Well, we monitor all of our purchases very carefully. So we estimate how much food we will be selling the next day. When we don't sell something, we cut it, we slash the price and offer it to the community to take home in their own takeaway containers, or then we give them a container. Also, we can repurpose the food. So a dressing, for example, could be mixed with some kale or some spinach and turned into dehydrated chips. Or leftover carrots or celery or other vegetable can be boiled into vegetable stock. Or we can blend bits and pieces of vegetables to do sauce for a pasta or for some other component of another dish. And for all the food scraps, like the skins of the fruit and vegetables, we can take them to a farm or give them as pig feed. For any recyclable items, we take them to Bali, which then where we then separate them into different types of paper, cardboard, if we have plastic, and glass. The glass bottles cannot here be recycled, but what we do is we reuse them. So when we sell the kombucha in a bottle, we ask people to return the bottles, and then we fill it up with our own limeade. So instead of a glass, we are using the bottles to serve the customers. So these are some of the steps that we are taking to eliminate waste and to make sure that anything that unfortunately does still come to us in a package is then at least put into a recycling facility or reused in another way.
Yeah, that's good. I think, it's way much better than we just use single plastic all the time.
Yes.
Or maybe I still have food left over and I throw it in a bin.
Yes.
And it causes more bacteria and like that.
Yes.
It's a good idea.
For the plastic, it doesn't even cross our mind anymore to have plastic straws. That idea was dropped ages ago. And what was the other point you said? You said about plastic and
leftover food, vegetables.
Yeah.
So many people just throw it away because I think it's already 2 days here and I just throw it and it causes more bacteria come and it smells bad, it's the air pollution. Yeah, I think to press the food and we use it for I think the food has you are successfully make the food taste amazing, so it doesn't matter then we just invite the bacteria here. It's good for you.
Actually, we're starting a new project. We had a training here by the IVS, the Vegan Society for Indonesia, Vegetarian Society of Indonesia, and the Indonesian Vegan Society, something like that, the IVS, VSI. And they did a training on veganism for our staff, and they also talked to us about eco-enzymes. So food scraps we can also put into buckets, cover with molasses and water, and develop into a cleaning agent that works for the face, for the body, for the floor, the windows, for dishes, and so on. So this is another thing we can take. also here in Canggu, we have this amazing babak that comes here by scooter, and he has buckets on his scooter, and we give some of our organic waste to him, and he has the 2 dogs always with him. He takes care of a lot of dogs. He's quite well known at least in Canggu. So he comes here every day. So we have different ways to dispose.
Yeah. Whoa. Cool. And the next question is, you felt that maybe this is your activities now, serving organic food, and do you have anything activities outside the cafes or?
Well, first I'd like to clarify, we don't market ourselves as having organic food. I have no idea the food that they say it's organic, is it organic? So I don't put a label on that. I put a label on in Canggu, we're 100% vegan, we don't even use honey. And in Green School, we're vegan, but we use some honey. That I guarantee you. But for the organic part, this is a slippery slope. So I can't say. Something maybe they say it's organic, but is it? I'm not sure. So we are not there yet. And your question was, other activities. Well, for LivingFoodLab, you mean?
I mean, now you're in LivingFoodLab.
Yeah.
In this business, but do you have any other activities or passion that gets your interest most? Like, I mean, beside the food.
Yes. Well, for me, I've always loved food since I was a child. So, although I had a different education and I thought I would become a diplomat, it's not really a surprise that I'm here. But I love music, so I listen to a lot of music, and I play some piano. Not very well anymore, but I still enjoy it. I like Pilates, but I've had a break for a while now. My whole energy the past year has been for the restaurant. But I try to take care of myself, how I eat. I like to go for a massage or get a facial or do something where it's relaxing for me, and it's so important to do that, to balance it out so that I don't burn the candle at 2 ends. But when I'm in Bali, I pretty much dedicate my time to being in our restaurants and cafes. We like to travel. And actually what I really like to do is to take walks, not in Bali so much except on the beach, but in Helsinki where I now live and where I would like to open LivingFoodLab. I like to walk by the sea, in the downtown, easily 5 kilometers a day, and to be in nature. So I like to pick mushrooms, I like to be in the forest. That for me is actually one of my favorite places, to be in the forest.
I mean, like the atmosphere that's so natural.
Yeah.
With nature.
Yes.
Yeah. In Bali, because we're tropical, so you still can find forests.
But you have the jungle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know why people keep on cutting the tree.
Yeah.
It's so sad to know that.
I should also mention the most important thing, which is my family. So I love to love and to take care of my 2 children who are now teenage girls, and one will probably graduate next year already. So,
congratulations. And did your child stay in Bali with you?
Yes, they did. They grew up in Shanghai, then in Singapore, and they were in Bali as well at the Green School. But they wanted to go and live in Finland, so they've never lived there, and they wanted to finish high school in Finland, do the IB program. They wanted to be with their grandparents, to learn Finnish language, and to be kind of normal teenagers, I guess, in Finland. So that's why now I'm based in Finland, but every day when I wake up, after my positivity mantras, I'm in touch with Bali. So every day I'm involved.
well. So yeah, you still come here because of your activities in here, right?
Yes, and because I love it.
Yeah.
If I could choose, I would be here.
Yeah. Family is important.
Yeah.
I got it. And, so, what things about Bali here that makes you really love the most? I think like you think that this is I haven't found these things in any other places, but I found it in Bali. I'm sure that every places has their own captivating place, but in Bali, which one you could say?
The spirituality. I totally resonate with the thought and the belief system, and I find that it's a very connected way of living, to be daily, multiple times throughout the day, in touch with those gods and goddesses that we believe in, with the spirit that is in everything, in nature, in objects, in animals, in food, to be making offerings, and to partake in these ceremonies where we are either blessing or expressing gratitude or somehow being more involved with spirit. For me, I just love it. And when I'm away from Bali, it feels like empty in some sense, like something is missing, like the beauty of it. Even if I'm not the one doing the offerings, I love to see that someone has prepared this beautiful offering and is taking it to the temple, and the incense, and just the delicateness and elegance of it. So that part, I just connect to the spirit of Bali like so many other people. I think a lot of people come here and they just feel there's something here that draws them, and it's the energy of Bali.
Yeah, me too. That's what I feel too. Actually, yeah. I'm not from Bali, but yeah, I just love it. Do you have any special memories or special things that makes you think like maybe when you get older you will flashback to the time in Bali that will show up in your memory?
For sure. I mean, the people, now especially our LivingFoodLab family. So there's so many wonderful people on our team that I really appreciate. They all have their individual characteristics. So I can remember moments I've had with them, mainly fun moments, where we're joking or being silly and just laughing around. Or serious moments where we really share deeper aspects of our life. And the rice fields, the sea, the mountains. I actually love to go up north. I like it where it's quiet, So I'm not a super huge fan of this busy area here. I much prefer the quiet, but it's not a very profitable business idea. So far, at least, I haven't discovered to be up in the mountain with no visitors, really, so. Yeah. So I would say the people, just the atmosphere. Yeah.
You never forget about Bali and always missing you, right?
Yes.
And this is besides the spirits and your business, I really want to ask deeper about, does Bali really gives you a good life?
Yes. And it's got to do with the spirituality. Life is, of course, I'm a business owner, so of course I should be making a profit, and but that's not the main motivation for me. I feel that I have a mission to bring plant-based food to the people in our community, and hopefully to spread the word. So I have a lot of admiration for vegan activists who go to slaughterhouses and who actually show footage of the cruelty behind the dairy industry, egg industry, meat industry, the conditions of the animals, the way they are killed, the way that there's so much cruelty involved in a lot of the food we eat. But I'm not an activist like that. I'm providing a solution in terms of food and an environment where you can learn more about this kind of lifestyle. And it's gentle. It's like I'm not pushing it on anybody. But I feel like I do have a growing responsibility to speed up the evolution of people in terms of how they are consuming and just becoming more aware to eliminate the cruelty inflicted on animals. Then there's also the sustainability argument in terms of how it would be better for the planet if we were plant-based. That gets a little bit more controversial on both sides, although for me it's quite clear, but I prefer to keep my discussion more on the ethical side. I'm coming from that space, and health also. Your question was, did this link to your question?
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I take off, so I wasn't sure.
Because I've just asked about does Bali gives you a good life? And
Yes.
based on your answer, maybe like that's the responsible
Yes.
thing that you can do
Yes.
for people, a small change.
Yes.
This means good feel, like makes you feel better as
It gives me a community. Community that feeds me and community that I can feed. And when I say feed, I mean body, mind, spirit. So it's a two-way conversation, a two-way relationship. So I feel very blessed here. Honestly, when I'm here, I feel very alive. I feel like I'm fulfilling myself. And it's because of the people who are surrounding me. Yeah.
Looking support, yeah.
Yes.
What I like about Bali is also the people.
Yeah.
They just like they were accepting.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, some of them are open-minded and
Yeah.
maybe people from overseas give them knowledge.
Yeah.
And more open-minded than any other place in Indonesia. I think Bali is close to that. Alright, so now based on what you do, now you're doing this business in food beverage, but vegan ways. What do you expect Bali will be in the future?
Well, Bali is already ahead of almost every other country in the world when it comes to vegan food. So I've been coming here for a long time just to eat all the good, not just to, but to eat also all the delicious vegan food. So I think that we're already ahead of like the majority of the world, and it's probably going to blossom even more. I would hope that we would get more of the people who are mindful of Balinese culture and tradition and who respect it, so that Bali can keep what is true to Bali, instead of being influenced too much by people who come and speed on motorbikes that are too noisy, who are going around maybe drunk and causing fighting and bringing that kind of energy which is not born in Bali, but which Bali might adapt to. So I hope that some of the old Bali can still stay. That would be the saddest thing, if the very reason that so many of us come to Bali for, if that was to be lost.
So yeah, the identity, the essence of the Balis will still exist, right? And yeah, I would like to ask, do you still volunteering right now, doing volunteer things now?
Well, at the moment, no, I'm not doing volunteering at the moment. We do give 12.5% of all of our sales at the Green School to the local scholarship fund. So that's a little something that we can do. Also, we sell some products downstairs that support either like Bali dogs or the dolphins in Bali, which are being rehabituated into the oceans, away from the chlorinated small swimming pools where they're imprisoned for entertainment. So we have causes that we tell people about. And actually I see that aspects of my life I'm doing a lot for free. In terms of how many hours a day I dedicate to this business, and also just spreading awareness to our guests who are here, or if I'm somewhere outside of the restaurant just talking about veganism and a lifestyle that I have found to be much more beneficial and kind to the planet and Mother Earth. So in that sense, but at the moment I'm not going to any organization, and I think if I did I would burn out, because now so much of my energy goes to my family, to LivingFoodLab, and I'd like to also start a business in Finland. So that's it. That's what I can handle now. Yeah.
But you keep helping, right? The point is you keep like doing things for free.
Yes.
Charity.
Yes.
You keep going.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah. I just don't see it as volunteering. It's just innate giving. Like it just comes automatically.
Yeah. That's what we are here for. We want to help each other, to help nature, like.
Yeah.
That's the purpose.
Yeah.
I hope one day I can do that.
You hope that one day you can be what?
I hope that one day I can, spending more time doing things for free.
Yeah.
I think that's would be amazing.
You can probably start today if you want. If you decide to spend half an hour less on social media.
Yeah.
Like, who am I to speak? I'm on my phone a lot. I'm just saying that for most of us, we could do more than we tell ourselves. We're kidding ourselves that we don't have enough time. Sometimes, honestly, we don't have enough time, honestly. But most of the time, we waste a lot of time.
All right, so that was the last question. And,
Oh, thank you for asking, and thank you for your interest.